Hi, it's Alexander Cooper here. I'm a director and producer, sometime actor in England, and I'm creating this video from Stamford in Lincolnshire. And I was approached by Tom Verdi from the Film Fund to answer a few questions, and I'm very happy to do this. So please forgive the technology setup. It's a little bit different and a little bit more basic than I would usually do. This is not what I'd normally do, but I'm taking this video just on my tablet. So anyway, I'll get going with the questions. Shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes. So Tom asked me, why do I act, direct, and produce? Well, it had been on my bucket list to make a film, and I'd been working in London for about 9 years. I lost my job at an investment firm in Mayfair, and my father passed away in about 2014. So it was kind of like a big turning point, and many changes were going on. And I decided that it was time to pursue the filmmaking dream. There wasn't ever going to be a perfect time to make them, and I'd found some stories that I felt needed to be told, and well, no one else would do it, so I thought I might as well do it. And Tom had asked me who are some of my favourite auteurs, which of them inspire me the most and how. Well, I mentioned of the film, the first production I did was Parallel, which was described by a Flick Feast as what sliding doors might look like if it had been abused by Christopher Nolan, which was a very cool comment, I thought, from them. The writer of Parallel, David McGowan, had been heavily influenced by the works of David Lynch in coming up with the concept and script. But as far as Nolan is concerned, I love how he's an inventive and impressive alchemist of cinema. He's a bit of a magic maker. You never really know what to expect from Nolan, which makes him really top of his game. He isn't afraid of experimentation. I try to be like that, but obviously I'm sort of starting off in my career. But yeah, he's a very inspirational figure. A big fan of other directors like Verhoeven. He made some great films like RoboCop, Showgirls, for example. Steven Spielberg, obviously, is a hugely successful director. Needs no introduction. And again, films like what was I thinking of a second ago? Well, obviously there's movies like Jaws, but Schindler's List was the big one recently, and that's being obviously in the cinemas again, very timely. Scorsese is another amazing director. I saw Wolf of Wall Street in the cinema, really cool film. And last but not least, Stanley Kubrick. Obviously, movies like The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut, especially that one because it's an often disputed, but in my opinion, it's a masterpiece of cinema. And I'm a fan of other stuff like, Sylvester Stallone, that very much inspired Sandow, the movie I made. The whole Rocky franchise I was a massive fan of that growing up, and just been really impressed by how he managed to keep going for so many years with the Creed spin-off of that. Tom asked me what my toughest challenge was when raising funding for a film project. I'd attempted crowdfunding on 2 occasions, on Indiegogo and Kickstarter for Parallel and Sandow, and I only ended up raising successfully £500 for Sandow. So from my perspective anyway, the biggest challenge as a filmmaker starting out before anyone knows you, you don't have any name, biggest challenge is to raise any significant money at all from anyone. I'd finance both films from my own pocket, my own resources, own savings, and debt actually, just getting out the credit cards, and that can be quite a lot. I took on significant liabilities to make my movies. So, what do you find interesting about the Film Fund? The honest answer is I never heard of the Film Fund before Tom Verdi, the founder, approached me on Twitter. But you know, anything that is helping filmmakers get access to funds for production definitely gets a big thumbs up from me. For those who are making shorts, definitely worth checking out. Definitely encourage it. Advice for filmmakers who are just starting their careers. Well, you know, I'm pretty much starting myself. I've made two, but I'm not particularly well known yet. That takes time to build up and get audiences, etc. But as another famous director said, Quentin Tarantino, if you want to make a movie, make it. Don't wait for a grant, don't wait for the perfect circumstances, just make it. And I think he's absolutely bang on there. Uh, that applies to everything in life. Don't wait for permission before setting out on something that you really have your heart in to do, to achieve. And then the final question I had was that if I had to ask myself one question about my artistic career for this spotlight, what would it be? Well, the first thing I thought was, what's next? Well, and then I'll just briefly answer. I do have a script that's being completed called The Decision. It's about an army officer, British army officer, who's um, made to feel remorse by a captor who imprisons him. And so it's an interesting concept. But that's only in development. There's various things in development. And then Sandow is going to fix the Fix Festival, which is a sports film festival in Milan in November for a week. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. I'd like to thank Tom at the Film Fund for giving me this opportunity. It was really sort of food for thought, and I really appreciate you giving your time and for letting me make this video for you. And yeah, I'll happily talk to you in the future. Wish you all the best and take care. Bye.